Bueno, hola, mi nombre es Abel.
Hi, my name is Abed.
Le voy a contar un poco de mi historia de lo que pasó.
I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story and what happened.
Yo vine a este país a buscar un mejor futuro.
I came to this country to look for a better future.
Llegué hace más de 10 años.
I arrived over 10 years ago.
Empecé a buscar trabajo.
I started to look for work.
Y voy a contar lo que pasó después.
And we're going to tell you a little bit what happened after that.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Honey, I need money. I need to go buy stuff.
Well, okay then. If that's necessary, let's do that.
Thank you, honey.
You're welcome.
Oh, I need to go get him some food. Here you go. Here's your food.
God, I'm Mexican anyway.
I'm sorry.
I thought this son had back home after a while.
He needs to work harder. Honey, I need more money.
Okay.
I want to buy myself new
more
shoes.
shopping. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, we'll do that. Shoes it is then. Here you go. You love me, right?
Yes, I do. I love you, honey. Thank you. Anthony, keep working. Oh, I need to feed him again. Here you go. I made it with some spicy food for you. Honey, I'm tired.
Okay. All right.
You need to tell him to work harder. I need more money.
Okay. All right. More money. I have. Here you go.
Thank you, honey.
You're welcome. He sure does a good job out there.
Hey, he doesn't miss the food I give him.
That's pretty big. Yeah, that's right.
Honey, don't forget to charge him the food that I made for him.
Yeah, the food. Not free.
Oh.
Here.
Okay.
You do a good job. The client hasn't paid yet, so we're going to need to, next week, I'll give you double.
That's it.
Okay.
Honey, you need to take out more money. You know, he works hard for his work. Well, I do too. I'm the cook here, and that's a lot of work.
Those were expensive shoes. All right. Well, we'll see what we can do next week. I think I'm going to go with golfing.
Anthony.
Necesito más dinero.
Oh, that's right. The money is. I gotta go to the bank. I can give you maybe half this week.
No, honey, you need to charge him more. The food.
That's right. The food, expensive, very expensive food.
You know, you get paid for your work. So do I. You know, that's a very expensive food.
¿Sabe qué, Lucio?
Oh,
No más trabajo.
I can't believe this. You're gonna quit.
Yes.
All right, honey, just leave him.
Oh, sorry.
Fine.
Hi, I'm with the construction agency. Do you do drywall?
I do siding.
Drywall. Cool. Yeah. Good.
pague.
Got a little bit for you here. Is that enough?
Está
I
bien.
mean, we haven't got paid, the client didn't pay, but.
Ok, está bien. Bien.
Yeah, good.
Aquí vuelvo.
Okay.
Hola. Nice dog.
Yeah, it's a
Bonita
heavy.
loca.
It's a heavy, it's good. Like it?
Sí, me gusta mucho.
Yeah?
Sí. Bonita
Can I help you with something?
Sí,
Something?
quiero mi dinero.
Next week is gonna be better for me. You know, these cars are expensive and you gotta get respect somehow.
Necesito dinero para mi familia.
Not this week.
No,
Can't help you out with that. Sorry. Gotta go.
Hola.
Yeah, you're doing a really, really good job. We got more work for you. Always more work. More
Ya,
work.
sé, hay mucho trabajo.
Yeah. Mucho trabajo.
Sí, no dinero.
No dinero.
No.
Yep.
Renuncio. Yo renuncio.
Hi, you looking for work?
Sí. Ando buscando trabajo.
Do you do construction?
Construction. Trabajo.
Yeah, we have a lot of work. Please, okay.
Hola.
Hola.
Necesito mi dinero. Quiero que me pagues.
I gotta use the bathroom. I'll be right back.
One more time, otra vez.
Hola, buenos días a todos.
Hi, good morning to everyone.
Mi nombre es Guadalupe López.
My name is Guadalupe Lopez.
Les voy a contar un poquito de nuestra historia.
I'm going to tell you a little bit more about our story.
A veces, migración piensa que nosotros llegamos aquí por querer venir aquí a Estados Unidos, quizás pues nada más porque se nos da la gana.
Sometimes immigration thinks that we come to this country just because we want to,
Pero eso no es cierto.
but that's not true.
Yo llegué aquí a la edad de 16 años.
I arrived here at the age of 16.
Llegué porque pues quería ayudar a mi familia, a mis hermanos.
I arrived because I wanted to help my family and my siblings.
A veces nosotros sufríamos mucho.
Sometimes we suffer a lot.
No teníamos un plato a veces de comida que llevarnos a la boca.
We didn't have sometimes even one plate to feed ourselves.
Tomé la decisión de venir aquí a Estados Unidos.
I made the decision to come here to the United States.
Fue muy difícil dejar a mi madre, a mis hermanos y a mi papá allá en Guatemala.
It was very difficult to leave my mother and my siblings and my father in Guatemala.
Yo me vine huyendo de la extrema pobreza
I came fleeing from extreme poverty
y el acoso sexual de mi jefe.
and sexual assault from my boss.
Llegué con muchos sueños de salir adelante,
I arrived with many dreams to move forward,
poder ayudar a mi madre y a mis hermanos,
to help my mother and my siblings.
pero desgraciadamente no pudo ser,
But unfortunately, it couldn't be.
porque al llegar aquí tenía nada más 4 meses cuando me avisaron que mi madre había muerto de cáncer.
Because only after 4 months here, they told me that my mother had died of cancer.
Fue muy difícil superar este dolor,
It was really difficult to suffer from this pain.
todavía me duele
It still hurts
porque no la pude ver cuando ella murió.
because I couldn't see her when she died.
En eso conocí a mi esposo Abel.
In this time, I met my husband Abel.
Tenemos 4 hijos ciudadanos americanos,
We have 4 citizen children.
pero el día 4 de septiembre del año 2012
But the day of September 4th, 2012,
veníamos de las montañas con mi esposo y un amigo.
we were coming from the mountains with my husband and a friend.
Una patrulla estatal nos paró,
A state patrol stopped us.
se acercó al carro de mi esposo
He came up to the car of my husband
y le pidió registración, la licencia y la aseguranza del carro.
and he asked for registration, license, and insurance of the car.
Mi esposo le enseñó la matrícula consular porque pues no tenía una licencia de Colorado.
My husband showed his consulate ID because he didn't have a license in Colorado,
Ahí empezó todo el problema.
and this started all of our problems.
El oficial se fue a la patrulla
The official went to the car
y le dijo a mi esposo que nada más le iba a dar un ticket, pero no fue cierto.
He told my husband that he was just going to give us a ticket, but that wasn't true.
Regresó a los pocos minutos a nuestro carro
We waited a few minutes in our car.
En ese momento se vino y nos preguntó a nuestro amigo Julián y a mí que teníamos que también dar una identificación.
He came back to the car and asked me and my friend Julian also to give identification.
Yo en ese momento le dije que yo no traía un ID.
At that moment, I told him I didn't have an ID with me.
Yo sí la traía, pero no le quise dar nada porque se me hizo ridículo.
In actuality, I did have an ID, but I didn't show it because I thought it was ridiculous.
¿Por qué yo identificarme si yo no venía manejando?
Why do I have to identify myself? I wasn't driving.
Nuestro amigo Julián sí le enseñó la matrícula consular.
Our friend Julian, he did show his consulate ID as well.
Se fue a la patrulla
He went back to the car.
y empezó a hablar por radio.
He spoke on his radio.
A los pocos minutos
In a few minutes,
llegaron otras patrullas más.
more police and cars showed up.
Uno de ellos se nos acercó al carro,
One of them came up to our car as well.
mientras el primer oficial se volvió a acercar al carro. Le dijo a mi esposo: bájate, vas a firmar tu ticket.
While the other police went back, the other police told my husband, get out of the car to sign your ticket.
Y mi esposo caminó hacia la patrulla, supuestamente a firmar su ticket nada más.
And my husband walked back to the patrol car, supposedly to sign his ticket and nothing more.
Pero en eso lo empezó a decir que subiera las manos, lo empezó a revisar.
But at that time, they told us, hands up, I'm gonna search you.
Y cuando yo vi, él estaban poniendo las esposas.
When I saw that they were putting handcuffs on him,
Pensé que nada más se iban a llevar a él. En mi mente dije: ahorita, a ver cómo le hago, a ver cuánto me van a cobrar, voy a ir a sacarlo a la cárcel.
I thought, how are we going to do this? How much are they going to charge us? How much is it going to take to get him out of jail?
Nunca pensé que también yo y nuestro amigo íbamos a ser arrestados ese día.
I didn't also think that me and my friend were also going to be arrested that day.
El otro oficial se acercó a nuestro carro y nos tocó los vidrios
The other official came up to our car and knocked on the window.
y nos dijo: ¿hablan inglés?
And he asked us, do you speak English?
Y nosotros le dijimos que un poco.
And we said a little bit.
Y él nos dijo: ¿ustedes están legalmente en este país o están ilegal?
And he said, are you here legally or are you illegal?
Yo no le contesté nada,
I didn't answer anything.
pero nuestro amigo le dijo: no, pues no estamos legal.
But our friend answered me, said, no, we're not legal.
Él dijo, ¿saben que nosotros trabajamos con ICE
And he said, you know what, we work with ICE.
y los vamos a llevar arrestados porque es un delito muy grande estar aquí en este país y no estar legal?
And he said, we're going to arrest you because it's a huge crime to be here in the United States and not be.
Estaba muy triste, desesperada, no sabía lo que iba a pasar
I was
con
really
nosotros.
sad, hopeless. I didn't know what was going to happen.
Los tres nos llevaron a una oficina.
The three of us, they took to an office.
Al llegar ahí, empezaron a sacarnos las huellas, a tomarnos las fotos, nos preguntaban si teníamos récord criminal.
They started to take our fingerprints and our photos and ask us if we had a criminal record.
Nosotros le habíamos dicho que no.
We said no.
Y ellos empezaron a conversar entre ellos.
And they started to converse among themselves.
Recibieron una información de nosotros y dijeron, no, ustedes están limpios, no tienen ningún récord criminal.
And they said, do we have any information on them? And they said, no, they have a clean record, they're clean.
Pero dijeron que íbamos a ir a migración y que nos iban a cobrar $5,000 porque nosotros no teníamos récord criminal.
And they said, well, we're still going to take you to immigration and your bond will be at $5,000 because you don't have a criminal record.
Yo estaba muy triste, desesperada ahí adentro.
I was really sad and desperate inside.
Fue muy difícil porque $10,000
It was very difficult because $10,000
entre los dos y no tenía esperanza de salir de ahí adentro.
and to not have hope to leave from inside of there.
Porque era mi esposo y yo que estábamos adentro.
Because it was my husband and I together that were inside.
Estuvimos 4 días encerrados ahí en migración.
We were inside immigration for 4 days together.
Fue desesperante para mí porque yo, cuando amanecí ahí en el centro de detención y nos llamaron a desayunar, yo no quería comer nada.
I felt desperate inside because when they came and woke me up every day to eat breakfast, I didn't want to eat.
Lo único que quería era hablar con mis hijos.
The only thing I wanted to do was speak with my children.
Le pedimos ayuda a una tía que tengo.
We finally asked for help with from an aunt that I have.
Ellos se movieron para ver la manera de que nosotros saliéramos de ahí.
And they mobilized to find the way that we could get out of there.
Salimos de ahí, pero muy tristes, la verdad, desesperados, no sabíamos qué iba a pasar porque no estábamos en proceso de deportación.
We got out, but we were still sad and without hope because we had already entered into the process of deportation.
Es algo muy difícil.
It's something very, very difficult.
Mi esposo es el único que trabaja
My husband's the only one that works,
y pagar $10,000 de bonds,
and to pay $10,000 in bonds,
más el abogado.
in addition to the lawyer.
Ahorita nosotros estamos peleando para la cancelación de deportación.
Right now we're working and we're fighting to cancel our deportation.
Ahorita nos ha llegado un permiso de trabajo,
Right now we've received a work permit,
pero todavía seguimos en proceso de
but we
deportación.
still continue in the process of deportation.
Vamos a seguir peleando muy duro
We're going to keep fighting really hard
por nuestros hijos,
for our children
porque nosotros pasamos una vida muy difícil con mi esposo
because we passed through a very difficult life.
y queremos que nuestros hijos sí lleguen a ser unos jóvenes que tengan una carrera, un título universitario y no que estén como nosotros.
And we want that our children move ahead. They can have an education. They can go to school or to go to college like we never could.
Hemos conocido muchas organizaciones,
We have met many organizations.
muchas personas, la comunidad nos está apoyando muy duro
Many people in the community supporting us a lot,
y vamos a luchar.
and we're going to fight.
No nada más para pelear mi caso, sino para pelear muchos más, porque son muchos, son miles las personas que están siendo deportadas.
Not only for my family, but for so many more. There's thousands and thousands of families that are being deported.
Eso es todo, gracias.
That's everything. Thank you. This family unfortunately is being separated, and we need the community support to keep them together.
Good morning, and welcome to what you may have guessed will be a very special service hosted by the Immigration Justice Project. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. If you're a visitor visiting us for the first or the second time, thank you very much. Okay. And if you're willing, please stand or raise your hand so that we can welcome you. Invite the visitors to let our offering basket pass. Your presence is a gift to us. Please join with us for conversation and coffee in the community room after the service. I'm happy to begin with a brief message from the long-range planning team, which has been meeting since November to pull together a strategic plan for the next 5 years. The team consists of Marianne Thompson, Nikki Monteith, Jim Harlan, John Collins, Coral Causeway, and Colleen Bryan. With all that is changing in the world and in the church, planning for the future is no easy task, but our team is ready to begin engaging the community. Please look for some wall posters in the community room today during coffee hour and stop by to talk with team members and offer your 2 cents about the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and challenges that you see facing the church. Your observations will be woven into the fabric of the plan. Also on Saturday morning, March 8th, the team will host another opportunity in the multipurpose room, and the session will start the discussion about what changes you would like to see in various areas of church life. The conversation will start with breakfast at 8:30 and wrap up by 11:30. Please join us for that planning activity as well. A couple other short announcements. Auction tickets are available in the community room. The Peace Committee at 3:30 today is hosting 2 Israeli speakers, the Soldier and the Refusnik, talking about Palestine and Israel. And also one last one. If you look at your order of service, Standing on the Side of Love is actually in the teal hymnal, and it's 1014 is what we'll be singing this morning. My name is Melanie Dean, and I serve on the Faith and Action Council, and I'm also really excited to be part of a team working on the new sanctuary movement here. Most of you received a sheet as you entered, and please jot down any questions that you might have by the end of the service about the new sanctuary movement, and return them to the baskets outside. Jean Abrams will be there collecting them. In 2007, the UUA became the first national denomination to endorse the new sanctuary movement. This is an interdenominational movement that asks us, as people of faith, to educate ourselves and our community about the issues facing our immigrant brothers and sisters, and to advocate for changes to the immigration system. It also gives us a truly amazing opportunity to support a family facing the possibility of being torn apart through deportation by hosting them here in our church for a period of time. And what that does is it provides sanctuary for them, and it also allows us to bring that issue to the larger community. It's a wonderful opportunity for us to companion with these people as they seek justice. The brokenness of the U.S. immigration system in the United States has created an environment in which immigrants are denied basic human rights and dignity, held in detention unjustly, and has institutionalized the separation of families. In short, our system is creating moral and humanitarian dilemmas that cannot be ignored. What's happening here is an affront to each and every one of our UU7 principles. Why should we, as a church community, consider this opportunity for sanctuary? We will live our faith by practicing love, compassion, and community. We will move beyond us and them and live into, there is a unity that makes us one. We will grow and deepen our relationships beyond the walls of our congregation, becoming a true urban sanctuary. We will be connected to a spiritual legacy of risk and courage in the face of injustice, and we can inspire others to do the same. We will engage our resources, our energies, ourselves in the service of being the change that we wish to see in the world. Today, I light the chalice in honor of the inherent worth and dignity of every person.
To invite the young and young at heart up front to join us for a time for all ages. And while you're coming up, I have a poem to share. It's called Near and Far by Kate Cox Goddard. Little children far away across the ocean wide, though they do not look like us, are the same inside. Other children everywhere I would like to meet, ones who live across the sea and others down the street. My name is Kat, and I'm a member of the Immigration Justice Project, and I gather that you're a little bit familiar with the word immigration. Immigration is really central to the story of the United States because this once was a land that contained many different nations of people who are now commonly known as Native Americans or American Indians. But most of us here in this country today have ties to other nations or parts of the world through our ancestors and through our families. Some were brought here involuntarily as slaves, while others chose to come here. Some were seeking opportunity, and some were escaping hardships. I have ancestors from different parts of Europe, Most of them have been here for at least 100 years. Well, my husband has only been here about 20 years. And I work with Denver Public Schools, and I meet students who were born in other parts of the world. I've met children from Somalia, children from China, and Mexico, just to name a few of the kids. But almost every family in our country has a different immigration story, yet we probably have this one thing in common. At least one person in our family's history left a familiar home and started a new life here. So I have this book. This is a beautiful book called The Arrival by Sean Tan. It tells us one family story through illustrations. The family decides that the father will leave for another part of the world. He travels by boat in a long journey, and he arrives in a very strange place filled with unusual sights and sounds. The man looks for work, and he finds it in a noisy and crowded factory. Time passes. He misses his wife and his child. And at last, the wife and child prepare the journey to reunite with him. Today, we would like your help in reuniting this family here.
We have some special power stickers. The monarch butterfly, which as you know, may know, flies and migrates naturally from the United States to Latin America and back. So we're going to use this special power, and we're going to come together and bring this family together. Will you all help us get up and help reunite this family? We stand up and help this family get it together. Let's make a path to the family. Yay.
And now we'll sing the children out.
Just follow me. You just walk up.
Please stand as you're willing and able, and join us singing Standing on the Side of Love, the teal hymnal on page 1014. I'll be singing the verses and you join me in the chorus, please.
Faith, hope, and love abide.
welcome to this vigil at the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, GEO, for-profit detention center here in Aurora. We come here every month to stand together with compassion and support for all of the immigrants locked inside and their families left to live without their loved ones close beside them. Immigration reform must include a complete reform of our country's cruel, irrational, and dehumanizing immigration enforcement system. Because current U.S. immigration policy and enforcement results in employer manipulation and abuse, leaving immigrants and American-born workers to suffer the consequences. We believe any reform should include access to justice and due process, civil, labor, and employment rights, and public safety. Reform must stop deportations that tear apart families and end dangerous programs that involve local law enforcement with ICE. Our compañero, Elliot Hausman Turubiate, could not join us today, so he gave us permission to read his poem for him, a love letter for my Chicana, Native, Indigenous people.
Look closely, because there are no fences on this body, no 800-mile walls across this tierra, no migra aiming rifles at indigenous children on this frontera. This skin did not come wrapped in barbed wire fences, nor these limbs made divided. When we kiss, there are no structures built that pretend to know where my lips end and yours begin.
So is it really so hard to believe that your eyes possess no truer purpose than to stare into another's, and that our hearts, like our fingertips, are made to touch, to leave behind gentle fingerprints like soft whispers, reminding us that we are still never alone, which is why there can be no fences on this body, no 800-mile walls across this tierra, no migra aiming rifles at indigenous children on this frontera. And if we would resist borders built upon the most sacred earth of these bodies, why do we insist on honoring those built to divide and conquer our people?
To divide and separate this land, to divide and erase our cultura, to divide and make us forget our humanity and the humanity of our compañera, to divide and make us forget that there was once a time before walls, before prisons, before papeles, before la migra, before Chicano, before Native, before Mexica, when our ancestors looked at one another and recognized a common origin, that we are from la misma sangre y corazón.
Our hearts carved out of the same masa, that masa del mismo maíz, and that maíz from the same tierra, which makes our bodies like nothing more than tamales, molded by the desert heat and warmed under the sun. The Maya tells us, se llevaron nuestros frutos, cortaron nuestras ramas, quemaron nuestro tronco, pero no pudieron arrancar nuestras raíces. They can steal our fruit, they can cut off our branches, they can burn our trunk, but they cannot unearth our roots. They will never unearth our roots.
We must remember that there was a time before walls, and there will be a time after them, after they've fallen to make bridges, and after those bridges have fallen into dust, returning themselves back to the desert, to whom they've always belonged. There will be a time when we are whole again. But we do not have to wait until the fences crumble. These seamless bodies and our unhindered love are our roadmaps back home, back to the earth, back to one another.
For all we need to do is look upon our homes, to see how lines and borders can exist without hate, and then to weave our struggles like fingers into another's. Notice how La Migra has no power here, in the intertwining space between you and me. And so I wait to come upon that place where finally our stories meet.
just like to take a moment and hold up a few of the joys and concerns of our larger community. I'd like to hold up one of our families. Here, First Unitarian has been trying to have a baby for about 4 years at great expense and a real emotional roller coaster. But for about 9 weeks now, they are pregnant, and I hope that continues to a fairly healthy conclusion. I want to hold up several of our families that are still and have been for some time struggling to find sustaining work in this difficult economy. We wish them lots of strength and courage for that difficult journey. I want to hold up some of our elders who are also struggling with fixed incomes and rising costs, and wish them great success or perseverance, I guess, on that difficult journey. Yes, two of our families who have young adult daughters who are really struggling to find their way in this world right now and causing their families some significant stress and grief. So for all of these, I just invite your thoughts and prayers and solidarity.
We're getting ready to receive our morning's offering. My name is H. I'm from the Giving and Action Committee. As you know, our congregation supports important work in our community by donating collections to organizations outside our four walls on the first and third Sundays of each month. Today we have chosen One Colorado for the offering, and thank you for your generous support of this organization. As usual, checks should be made to FUSD, but unless otherwise indicated, all funds will go to One Colorado to support their work in the community. Please welcome Dave Montes, who will tell you more about this organization. Dave will also be available in the community room following the service, should you want to learn more. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dave Montes, and I'm the Executive Director of One Colorado. For those who don't know, One Colorado is our state's leading advocacy organization for lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people and our families, including the many, many LGBT people who are also immigrants. While I'm new to this position, I'm not new to the March for Equality here in Colorado. And I know that First Unitarian has long been an incredible partner in that movement forward. So thank you very much for that. I was asked to talk about One Colorado and our work, and I could go on for hours and hours about the different things that we do, but I won't. I'm going to focus on a piece of what we do. And in order to do that, I need to tell you a story. This story is about a young kid from southern Colorado who grew up with a single mother on public assistance and would often get roughed up by the other kids in his small town because he was a little bit different, because he didn't fit in. Sometimes he'd get held down and beat up on the playground. Sometimes he'd get beat up after school. And sometimes he'd even get beat up by people he thought were his friends. Occasionally he'd get by with a few scrapes and a few bruises. Sometimes it was a black eye or a fat lip. But after each time, the world seemed to get just a little bit lonelier. Each and every day, One Colorado sends a message to lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender youth all throughout the state that they aren't alone. We do that by providing them access to a gay-straight alliance so that they don't feel like there's no one else like them. We do that by making sure that teachers have the tools that they need to address bullying when it happens. And we do that by making sure policies at the state and local level protect all students, including those who are lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender. So when I tell this story, I often get asked, so what happened to the kid from Southern Colorado? Well, he went on to put himself through college and is now the executive director of One Colorado, because that kid was me. I wouldn't be here today if I didn't know in my heart that the work that One Colorado does every day makes a difference in the lives of lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people all throughout this state. Whether it's making schools safer for students, ensuring all families, all couples have the freedom to marry the person they love, or even partnering with our partners at the Colorado Immigrant Rights Coalition to make sure that immigration reform does happen and includes a path to legalization for all immigrants. The work that One Colorado does directly impacts the lives of so many in this state, and we couldn't do it without all of you. So thank you very much for having me here today.